Welcome back. It's always important to make sure that you have a designated safe place to go when tornadoes are spotted near your home. When a tornado warning is issued, find shelter immediately. Get into a basement or innermost room in your home. If you live in a mobile home, find the closest tornado shelter. Stay away from any glass, windows, or doors. Protect and cover your head. Very important. Bicycle or football helmets are good ways to do this. And finally, stay in your safe place until the threat is over.
Well, every severe weather season, as we prepare for the potential for tornadoes and other dangerous systems, we can't help but to think back 5 years to the day when everyone's lives changed.
And the events of April 27, 2011 will forever be burned into our memories. Thousands of homes and businesses destroyed. Hundreds of people lost their lives as a result of that tornado outbreak.
And while we take this moment to look back, we also use those experiences to remind us of how strong we really are.
It was literally hell on earth.
I had to literally be dug out.
It looked just exactly like a war zone. It looked like Afghanistan or Iraq had been bombed.
April 27th, 2011. It left behind death and destruction in all directions. From west to east, tornado after tornado touched down and tracked across central Alabama. It's an event many of us have never seen before in our lifetime and hope to never see again.
It was very scary. I always say my dog saved my life. We had a German Shepherd and a Pit Bull, and I looked out the window when I saw it had gotten so dark, and I was thinking of going and getting them and bringing them in the house. And it was almost as if an invisible hand just took them by their tails, and they started going up in the air. And they went over my neighbor's fence and just almost disappeared.
You'd be hard-pressed to find someone who doesn't have a story to share about their experience during that spring day and how they survived.
I was at home alone. My husband had left to go pick our son up from work, so I endured the tornado by myself.
We lost 4 lives in the storm. I don't really care to imagine what it would have been had the first storm not come through before business hours. Had these businesses been occupied during that second tornado, I'm not exactly sure what we would have dealt with.
Those storms affected everyone, even the crews who responded to them.
I came across a house that was just completely caved in. You could hardly tell that it was a house anymore. And there were people that were frantically digging, like a lot of people that were frantically digging. And you can even hear me in the video because they were looking for a child. And I remember in the video, or I could hear myself in the video saying, "What's his name?" or "What's her name?" What's his name? I don't know. But they never did find that child, or they didn't find the child there.
After the storms passed came the long process of recovery and rebuilding. That's when the strength and resilience of the Alabama people really began to shine.
It's still scary territory. I think we're exactly where I wanted us to be, but it's still terrifying because you've still got so much to do.
We are tickled to death. We are so thankful. It's hard to talk about it. I mean, we've been blessed.
I can tell you that day personally has still affected me even till today, and it's one of those events that hopefully we will not see again in our lifetimes, but it's always possible, and that's something that we have to consider because we do have tornadoes in Alabama, but while we may not have that many large tornadoes in one day, if a tornado hits your home or your community, that is your April 27th, 2011.
Exactly right. Yeah, I was watching the storms from afar. I was in Tallahassee watching them, and just an amazing, amazing scene. Everyone was, including yourself, just doing the best they could through an almost impossible situation.
And I was in Montgomery at the time, and we were following storms, and there were still several large storms that moved through central and south Alabama as well. So a day that, as meteorologists, we will never, ever forget.
Yeah, absolutely, and the stories still are surfacing to this day, but God definitely blessed a lot of people to get them through that day, and we're hoping that we'll be able to help do that in the future as well.
And And one important tool you should always have when the potential for severe weather approaches is a NOAA weather radio. After the break, we'll explain the importance of these devices and show you how to make sure yours works correctly. Mark?
We haven't even officially reached the spring season, but that does not mean we cannot expect severe weather to wait. After the break, neighbors in one Jefferson County community are already faced with the dangers of a tornado as it touches down on one of Alabama's busiest days.